Okay, so I'm going to explain to you on why you should get a PSVR 2 headset over an Oculus Quest 2 or the Oculus Quest Pro, which is about 3 times the amount of a PlayStation VR 2 headset. And yeah, that's way more expensive. Even if you do have to buy a PS5 console to use the headset, it's still cheaper. And its games that are exclusive to the PlayStation are way more graphically impressive due to it being rendered on the console and not within the headset. And I think that gives it slightly a competitive edge. Now, I didn't believe that, but I played Resident Evil 7 on the original VR title for PlayStation 4, and whew, it just makes it way more immersive. Like, holy shit. Sure, its resolution's dog shit, but just the amount of like sense of atmosphere and like realism, this fully decorated and dense levels brought to its just overall quality of the title, despite the really bad resolution, the blown out colours, because I don't know if it's just me, but so many of like the lamps just blow out characters completely. But apart from that, it's great. And this convinces me that with PlayStation 5's graphical capabilities and the support from Capcom, as it looks like they're also doing VR content for Resident Evil 4 exclusively for PlayStation products, because I can find nothing for PC. So the Oculus having any chance of keeping up is getting very desperate, even if you do have a really good PC. And don't get me even started on the controllers. Even with the new and improved Oculus Quest Pro, the controllers don't come near to being as cool. Got haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, which, I'm gonna say this, are a must-have in gaming now. It feels like I'm holding a dead controller when I just go back to PS4, because it's just like, there's no sensation really. And oh my god, it is so smart to make the launch title use a bow and arrow. Do you know why? Because when I pulled back that string in the remake of The Last of Us, I had the most orgasmic experience of my, like, seriously, pulling that bow back just blew my mind. And doing it in VR, I have no doubt it's gonna be so good. It would just be absolutely crazy. And let alone, Oculus doesn't really have any must-play exclusives. They don't have Resident Evils or Resident Evil, or at least the most recent ones. There is Resident Evil 7, which I'm looking forward to getting around to, but I'm just gonna say it. The ones they've got exclusive to look way better. Like Resident Evil 8, enjoyed that way more. Sure, that was just a normal console experience, and so was my first playthrough of RE4, but heck, it doesn't matter. They're getting RE4 remastered VR content. I'm sorry, but sucks to be Oculus right now. You just cannot catch a break. Also, let's not forget about the general performance of this will be way better. Like frame rate resolutions is really important, and the PlayStation VR looks like it's hammering that home this time. Because I'll tell you one thing, a low resolution kills it. And because Oculus has everything rendered in the headset alone, which leads to a convenient wireless experience, which sadly the PlayStation VR 2 cannot offer by itself. It doesn't matter, because it helps with the greater experience of it, and to be honest, you can deal with cables like 1,000 ways. Like, you can just flick it behind your back and you're never really going to notice it unless you're doing like some twister ass shit, which, you know, I don't do it unless I was playing super hot or like went just fucking crazy with Beat Saber. Not to mention they've got cameras, and that's sort of the big new thing, right? Using cameras to track it, right? Having processors and whatnot for the Oculus. PlayStation got that and it still doesn't even break $1,000 by itself. Like, honest to God, this is just like, there's so much technology in it and it's so bang for your buck. Sure, when you think about it compared to the Quest 2, you're like, yo, shit, that's so expensive. But if you think about the better Quest headset, technologically wise, right, that's £1,500. That is unbelievably expensive and doesn't have even some of these features on the controllers. Yeah, it's more feature complete and it's cheaper. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good, like, you know, deal. But to be honest, the future of this console accessory does entirely depend on PlayStation's support for it. So if we did get those like two Resident Evil games with VR support and Call of the Mountain, but if they stop that support, sure you'd get third-party support, but having those exclusive must-play titles would be a pretty important thing. And it doesn't look like they've done any third-party deals with game studios like Stress Level Zero with the excellent Bone Lab and Boneworks, which perfectly take advantage of the technology VR has on offer. And Oculus is pretty fucking mid in what it's doing. I mean, we were meant to get GTA VR, haven't had anything in 3 years. It's had 2 years at the time of announcement. Sure, it might get released like shortly after this video because this is like only a couple of days before the Game Awards, but I doubt it. How many times the fuck do you see an Oculus ad? Never, really, to be honest. It's pretty dead in the water. The only time I've seen an Oculus ad, it was Argos. And it appeared for 5 seconds, pretty much. So yeah, in conclusion, even if you do need to get a console, it's going to be more bang for your buck than the standalone headsets. You don't require a new PC, and heck, if you already got Resident Evil 8, why not? You can also get Call of the Mountains with it. Imagine that. Got a horror game, and you got the most slick-ass robo-killing guy. I was about to say girl, but it's not Aloy anymore, it's a dude. Who cares? You're killing fucking robot dinosaurs in virtual reality. That is way more cooler than any title. I mean, the latest title to come out on the Oculus was Iron Man VR. You could play that on the fucking PlayStation VR, right? And even that got repetitive after a while. Because I'm pretty sure after playing Resident Evil 7 VR, the Oculus just couldn't handle it natively on the system. You'd have to severely graphically downgrade the game. And to be honest, I don't want to know what's worse, Marguerite or a worse looking Marguerite, you know? Because that just, oh my god, I hate those people so much. It's just so much worse than the now in VR. Anyway, now that I've got that out of my system, hope you like this discussion on why the PSVR 2 is way more bang for your buck and isn't expensive compared to newer headsets on the market.